Welcome to the Transfer Letter webinar. In this webinar, you will learn how to cancel a transfer letter series and also start a new cycle if necessary. In the previous webinar, I had previously described and also showed examples on how to create a transfer letter. And this is example since we already started the transfer letter process. Let's say, for example, the client's no longer moving, or you've been notified that the client's not moving anymore. To cancel the letter, go to Correspondence, select your client, which in this case, my client's already selected. Go ahead and search letter. Click on the transfer letter correspondence description. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. There is a cancel letter button. And you may cancel it, clicking on the cancel letter. The system will prompt, you want to cancel the letter. You're going to say yes or okay. Okay, so now my letter they have the status canceled. So canceling the letter, I use them to cancel it for multiple purposes. The first reason that I gave you earlier was that the client was no longer transferring. Well, let's say the client, the user messed up, they need to start the cycle over again. There's multiple reasons for cancellation. But let's just say that you didn't know that the client was actually transferring because the status that displays and shows you that the client is transferred is actually in patient registration. That has been removed from the relationship, the pending status, the transfer process, an indication that the case is transferred is now not linked to the letter. So let's say I don't know that this client was actually transferring, and I thought that this client is transferring now. So I'm going to go ahead and try to create a letter. I'm going to go to the category dropdown. Since my case is in active status, I'm going to go and select transfer letter series. Once you select either any of these options, and if a C20 or C21 already exists, the system is going to pop up with a message that says, starting a new cycle will cancel existing cycle letters. Do you want to start a new cycle? If you click OK, it's going to wipe out the address to information, and it becomes a new letter. And you're starting the process over again. You click Cancel, the system is going to take you back out to the search screen. Let's go ahead and do an example where I actually decided to do a new cycle. I'm like, okay, the client's transferring, but they actually changed their mind. They're not going to where I had previously that they were going. So I'm going to go ahead and say the parent notified, and we're going to go ahead and add a new letter cycle by saying OK. The client is now moving to grandma. And she's moving from Los Angeles to West Sac. And West Sac is Yolo County. And click Save and Send. So that's how you start a new letter cycle, if necessary. Basically canceling the previous one and creating a new letter cycle. And since we're waiting, let me go ahead and make some additional comments here. Generating this transfer letter does not indicate that the client is actually transferring. To do that, you need to go to the patient registration info screen and check the case transferring to another county checkbox. And unchecking that box does not automatically cancel the transfer letter. There is no connection between checking the box and patient registration and generating the transfer letter. Here's my letter that I just created. It gets sent to the primary addressee. C sees the new primary addressee and the new county. Let's go ahead and do another example of a cancellation. Let's say the client's no longer transferring. I'm going to go ahead and search for my client, enter my client, which is already entered here. Click on Search Letters. Found my letter here. This was the previous one that we just canceled, but let's go ahead and cancel it again. And go ahead and click on the correspondence description hyperlink. Scroll down to the bottom. Since the client's no longer transferring, and I know that for sure, I'm going to go ahead and cancel the letter. Click OK. Now the client did complete the transfer process, meaning the client actually sent out the transfer letter, and the client did transfer. You don't have to worry about the next tickler. Once the case gets closed, the tickler for the transfer series letter is actually deleted when you close the case. And this completes the webinar for how to start a new cycle and how to cancel a transfer letter if necessary.